Hej og velkommen til den her stream, hvor vi skal kigge lidt på det, der hedder en affidavit på amerikansk retssprog. Det er sådan en opsummering af, hvordan beviserne står lige nu i den sag, der handler om Harmony Montgomery, en 5-årig pige, der forsvandt for en del år siden, tilbage i 2019. And yeah, now I'm changing into English in the middle of my Danish. I'll be going in English in a bit, Reindeer. It's your first time here. Den her pige på 5 år, der forsvandt kort efter hendes far havde fået forældremyndigheden over hende. Jeg har dækket en våbensag mod ham tidligere, hvor han blev dømt skyldig i 6 forhold. Og i dag har man så frigivet det, som man mener, at han har gjort mod hende her, Harmony, og hvad for nogle beviser man har på, at hun skulle have, eller han skulle have gjort det. Det er allerede nu, kan jeg sige, det er ikke super hyggelige ting, vi skal snakke om i dag. Hvis man ikke er helt så vild med sådan nogle ting her, især ting, der er begået mod børn, der er ikke noget af de der overgreb, man ikke kan nævne her på YouTube, men det er stadigvæk ikke behagelig læsning det hele, så hvis man har det lidt skidt med det, så skal man lige være opmærksom på, at der kommer nogle ting frem, der kan være lidt ubehagelige. Og det skal også siges, at man har ikke fundet livet af Harmony endnu. Og Adam, jeg har også lavet en gennemspændende gennemgang af hans forhørsvideo ved politiet, og der var han ikke videre samarbejdsvillig, kan vi godt sige. Hello and welcome. And Jung Min, just as you said it, I'll switch to English because you are my boss. Today we'll be looking at the affidavit in the Harmony Montgomery case. This is the case where the father, Adam Montgomery, is charged with, as we can see in a short while, second-degree murder, tampering with evidence, falsifying evidence, and abuse of a corpse. It's a gruesome case. We saw him in the weapons trial I covered, and a lot of the witnesses in the weapons trial will be coming back for this trial. And if you are squeamish, maybe just have a pillow, because we're not going to watch any gruesome pictures, but there are some descriptions that is not so nice to read. It's there's nothing of the things against kids we can't talk about on YouTube, but still, it's not an easy read, I'll have to say, because it's a 5-year-old girl who he just had the custody of her. It's in a meth heroin environment, and she disappeared in 2019. The body haven't been found. We had the weapons trial against him where he didn't show any real remorse about that one. We saw the police interrogation. I have it on my YouTube. You can go and watch it there. He didn't want to cooperate with the police, and you don't have to. Everybody remember, the first thing you can do if the police ask you anything, you can say, I want my lawyer. I'm not talking till my lawyer is here. And then he kept on talking for, I think, about 9 minutes, and then they brought up Harmony, and he shut up. Then he started talking again, smoked a lot of cigarettes, and when they brought Harmony back up, he shut up again and didn't want to cooperate. So it's a hard case to watch, but we'll jump into it. And I'm sorry, I have a bit of a cold, so sometimes I'll probably go through it a bit fast because my throat is killing me. But let's start out and do the shout outs. It's 8 p.m. And if you're in Denmark, you're welcome to stop by. I have coffee. And welcome, Reindeer. Thank you for stopping by. I'm always happy to see new people. And yeah, I'm sorry I cut into Mo, but it was because I followed this case and I saw that the affidavit was unredacted today. They kept it redacted doing the gun case, not to prejudice the jury against him. I think most of the jury probably were prejudiced when they mentioned Harmony multiple times during the trial, but today it's released without all the redactions, and I understand why there were redactions. You'll see soon. Hey, Indigo, Jamie, I'm so sorry you have to do that stupid work. I need you today. And look, Jiangming, I speak some kind of English. Hello, Erin. Genitals. We needed you on Nick's and David's stream. We were talking about genitals. Hey, Josie. Ja, jeg er stadig op. Klokken er kun 8. What? No, you're my boss. I do everything you say. Hello, Junie. Long time no see. Nice to have you here. I don't know why it's an affidavit. I'm not a lawyer. I'm pre-law. Hello, Farrell. It's when the sleeves come off later. Yeah, I've been having a cold for 2 days now, so don't mock me. Yeah, I shouldn't have said sore throat. And finally, someone who's going back to the case. You're always derailing me. Yeah, she lost her parental rights because she was a druggie, and then they gave her to a drug addict father. And I know that the state has been saying that, well, they made mistakes, but again, how can you make this many mistakes? He was a felon nonetheless, so they knew him in the system. It's not the first thing he done wrong. You wanted me to speak English, and I say I'll switch to English right now because I do everything you say. You are my boss, because the customer is always right. I've learned that sometime. Yeah, and I'm behind, I can see. Yeah, someone derails me. I'm always 100% online to the point. Someone is not on the screen and in the chat. It's funny how our tone changes when we are in front of the camera. Yeah, I thought they were going on in August, but the last thing I heard, it's probably been pushed back to October, so it wouldn't be too bad because I have to go on a small vacation. Yeah, I'm not sure there's that many jokes today, probably in chat because David's in chat, but this is a bit serious stuff, so I probably won't be talking too much about tank tops and socks today. And that's what makes this so hard to follow cases like this, because as a father, you're just sitting here and you want to do the thing like father of the year, the man in the airport, did to the one who did something to his kids. We can't really mention what he did, but everybody has probably seen him at the payphones in an airport when they brought back the guy who had done something bad to his kids. And you just get mad when you read this. No socks today. So everybody, if you're ready, let's jump into the affidavit, and then we'll see what's in it. Yeah, some people do. So I don't get paid anything for doing this. So if you're new here, please like and subscribe. Then maybe someday I can make, I don't know, 5 cents or 20 cents or something like that. That would be a mighty day. But let's jump into the affidavit and see what's in it. First, we can see what they wanted the arrest warrant for. It's the second-degree murder, tampering with witness and informants, falsifying physical evidence, and abuse of a corpse. So already it's not starting out that well. Let's just say it that in that way. And then a lot of scrolling. And this is, as I told you, for Adam Montgomery for the murder of his then 5-year-old girl Harmony. And we'll go into some of the evidence they have in this case. Boom, boom, boom. And the mother contacted the police about the Harmony's disappearance back in 2021 because she hadn't seen her in more than 6 months. And it's where this case starts. And Crystal is the bio mom, the one who had lost her parental rights because she was a drug abuser. And then they learned that Harmony had not physically been seen since approximately October or November 2019. That's a pretty long time if the mother doesn't miss her until 2021 and believes she saw her 6 months before. But again, there is a lot of drugs in this community. And Crystal reported that since she regained sobriety and unsuccessfully made attempts throughout 2021 to locate Adam and Harmony, Adam and his subsequent partner Kayla had blocked all communications with Crystal. Kayla is the one we saw in this trial, the one who has 2 charges of perjury. It's explained in the affidavit why she has it, and she'll be coming back, and she's the big witness in this case. I don't know if David blocked somebody, but do you have it on live chat or top chat? Remember to always go to live chat. They didn't go 6 months. They went 2 years without seeing her. The mother believed she saw her in 2021. And then it's right here in bullet 8. Crystal said that she believes she last physically saw Harmony doing a FaceTime video call with Adam around Easter 2019. And again, she didn't contact the police until where is it? November of 2021. So it's way more than 6 months since you last saw her. It's yeah, as a father, I can't believe you could go for so long. But again, it's in a drug environment, so it's not the best environment for a kid. But then they had the first interview with Kayla Montgomery, and she has 3 younger children with Adam Montgomery, and they know where all of those are. And she's asked when she last saw her, and she said, well, November, December 2019, she was going to work. Adam said he was going to drive Harmony back to Crystal because, yeah, that's a normal thing to do. And she believed that Harmony had been returned to Crystal, and she claimed she never saw or heard about her again. And she said that she hadn't seen Adam since October 2021 and hadn't spoken to him since November 2021. And Adam lived in a sober house. And the first contact with Adam Montgomery was in a car where he was sleeping together with his new girlfriend. She has since passed away. And this girlfriend said, well, she has been together with Adam for more than a year. She knew Adam had 3 children with Kayla and another child before that, but she said that Adam had no contact with his kids and that Adam never talked about Harmony. So she had no information. And they talked to Adam about it and said, well, do you know anything about it? Is she still alive? And he didn't exhibit much emotion. And as we saw in the police interrogation, he shut up right quick when they started asking her. Then they went back and talked to Kayla, the stepmom. And now she told us that 2 days after Thanksgiving, she had been taken to work by Adam around 6 in the morning. at Dunkin' Donuts at Eddie Road in Manchester, and Adam supposedly had Harmony in the car and wanted to bring her to Crystal, Harmony's mom, and Harmony should stay with her from now on. And Kayla said later in the day he picked her up, and Harmony was no longer there, and he said he had just dropped Harmony off, and then they were a bit concerned that he was this story about dropping him off, because Crystal said, nothing happened like this. And I'm sorry, my throat is killing me. And then Crystal's then boyfriend was interviewed, and he hadn't seen this girl either. So they talked to DCYF, that's a Department of Children, Youth and Families. We learned that during the police interview. And they said no one had seen her since October of 2019. And at that time, they were investigating because she had some bruises on her face. Hi, Mads. No, she has she has two convictions of perjury. I haven't heard anything about her as an accomplice, but she has some special knowledge, and everybody who took the stand in the weapons case had some kind of deal with the DA office. Everybody either was promised something or already cut a deal with them. So I thought that made it seem a bit not that trustworthy, because every witness could remember everything the police asked, and when the defense asked, they were not that sure. But Kayla is serving 2 times 3.5 to 7 years for 2 times of perjury in front of a grand jury. So all these stories comes back to bite her in the behind. Yeah, poor baby, and again, she hasn't been found. Farrell, if you can find it, please do. I try to go around. I have Google alerts set up for this, but I know if there's anything, you'll find it. No problem. Yeah, but we'll get to that. I believe she confesses to lying before the grand jury. Then it's pretty easy to charge you with perjury if you confess to lying. And then we have the detective who sat with Adam, and where Adam said, either arrest me or I'm leaving, and he didn't want to answer questions. We saw that interview. David were nice enough to show up and help me do that one. And he was then formally charged with second-degree assault for an incident in July 2019, interference with custody, and 2 charges of endangering the welfare of a child. And he has been in custody since then. Then we come to the grand jury testimony of Kayla Montgomery, the one that got her in the trouble. She's then asked about the last time she saw Harmony, and she said, well, it was 2 days after Thanksgiving, like the story she told before, when Adam dropped her off for work at the Dunkin' Donuts in Joffstown. That's a different place than she said before. Harmony was in the car, and he was bringing Harmony to Harmony's mother. And Harmony was no longer with her, blah, blah, blah. The same story as before. Then they looked into this Dunkin' Donuts story, or if she was working that day. And every Dunkin' Donut location in Joffstown said Kayla wasn't working there on that date. And they later found out that the only employer who paid Kayla in November of 2019 was in Hooksett, New Hampshire. And she was fired from that location 7 days before this allegedly took place. So They charged her with 2 times of perjury for lying in the court. Uh, Now I have to go back. I hope I can find the spot. Farrell, you're making me work. Bum bum bum. Do we have a date? This is now I need David. He could tell me where I should look for a date. October 21st, 2022 is the time of the affidavit. Oh, you wanted to? Yeah, she disappeared back in 2019. Now I jumped right off the track, and now I have to find out where I was. But again, that's the 2 charges of perjury because she lied about what where she were at the time and that she was she was working at a donut shop. But I'm sorry. You know, it's a baker's dream, but everything goes wrong. Scrolling, 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 rawhide. Scrolling, 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 rawhide. No, Farrell is the one who keeps us late tubers running. She's the one we hang our hat on. Oh, she seems like a mother of the year. She only has 3 small kids, so yeah. And I'm not sure what this proffer or how it's pronounced, but they she admitted to lying during her grand jury testimony. So, David, it's pretty easy to convict her when she admits. And then she says she has information relating to Harmony Montgomery. And she says when they were evicted around Thanksgiving 2019, they were living in a car. It's a Chrysler Sebring. I don't know what car that is. We don't have that in Denmark. And they stayed in a parking lot at Colonial Village on River Road in Manchester, where one of their drug dealing friends lived. And this drug dealer allegedly saw Harmony and the other 2 boys and would wave at them when they saw them in the parking lot. And he was nice. He was nice enough to bring them Thanksgiving leftovers so they could eat in the car. And the car broke down one day, and Adam struck Harmony, which caused her death. They said that, she said that while they lived in the vehicle together, Adam was extremely upset that Harmony had problems when she had to go to the bathroom. She didn't say when. So, as any father would, he just slapped her in the face or head with a closed fist. I can feel my blood start boiling. And at that time where the car broke down at 7th of December 19, Adam struck Harmony in the face at 3 separate occasions because she had a bathroom accident. And this happened while he was driving the car and she was in the rear seat. And then he turned around and punched her. And he delivered sets of 3 or 4 blows with a closed fist to Harmony's face, head on 3 separate occasions over the course of a few minutes. I said it in the beginning. This is not an easy one to read. Yeah. And Kayla stated after the final blow, Adam said words to the effect of he felt something or heard something when he hit Harmony, and I think I really hurt her this time. I think I did something. Harmony began making a moaning type sound noise, which went on for roughly 5 minutes and then stopped. At no time did anyone stop and get Harmony medical attention as a result of the assault. So this is what Kayla alleges happened, how Harmony was killed. While driving, she had a bathroom accident. Again, she's a 5-year-old girl living in a car in December, having an accident, and her father repeatedly hits her in the face, according to Kayla. Yeah, according to Kayla, she was in the car while he hit her till she died. Thank you. Then I have something to do a video over another day. Yeah, and they had 2 or 3 kids. They had two sons and Harmony living in the car at the same time. It's thank you so much, Farrell. Then I have something to read tomorrow. Yeah, it's a bad witness for the defense, and they didn't really destroy her credibility in the first case. That's why I covered the gun case, because I wanted to see how much they could damage her credibility, because she is the witness. No, and sadly enough, those who should have kids are those who are having trouble getting them, and those who should have kids has way too many. Well, they admit they made mistakes, so you can't blame them. They were at the house before they were evicted. Said, well, we did a welfare check, everything looked okay. At the time, they were living with a generator because the power had been cut off because they didn't pay the bills. You can see pictures of Harmony's room where there's just extension cords all over the place. But again, it was fine. Yeah, everything was fine. Yeah, now we could probably guess why she didn't want to say in the grand jury, yeah, I was just right next to him when he killed her, and nope, I didn't check her pulse, anything. But as they say, it gets worse. She said that it happened while they were moving in the car, and after the family returned to the parking lot. Um, yeah, she couldn't really recall the time. Um, and again, the car broke down. And when the car broke down she has a time between 8 and 9. The police said, well, it's 12:11. But at that time, they discovered that Harmony wasn't breathing and was deceased. And Adam went to the trunk of the vehicle, removed clothing from a black and red Under Armour duffel bag, and placed the lifeless body of Harmony into the bag. Kayla stated at no point did either of them have any conversations of getting any type of life-saving measures for Harmony, and that Adam simply put Harmony's dead body into the bag and walked it back to the parking lot of the Colonial Village apartment. Uh, yeah, then that drug dealer uh, brought them out so they could empty their stuff out of the car, and then they borrowed his Audi or what you call it in English, and there they slept for the next couple of days. And while they were living in his Audi, Adam was keeping the bag with Harmony's body inside of the trunk of the vehicle, but also would leave it out on the snow to stop the decomposition of the body from happening. So that's Kayla's explanation at what happened at that time. He punched her repeatedly in the face because she had an accident, and then stuffed her into a duffel bag and left her in the trunk of the car and out on the snow because she shouldn't start to smell. Yeah. Yeah, it's when I first saw that they had unsealed the affidavit, I thought, well, I covered the case. Let me read it. I shouldn't have found this case. I'm getting angry. Then they're talking to the drug dealer friend. Yeah, I sold them drugs, and I let them stay in the Audi, but he did not see Harmony in the Audi. It was only Adam, Kayla, and the 2 younger boys. He testified he never bothered to ask where Harmony was. he testified the only 2 times he ever saw Harmony were back in August and September. Bodero testified that when Montgomerys left the Audi after 2 days, they stayed there, that he believed Kayla said she was going to her mother's. So the story about Harmony and the boys waving to this guy, it wasn't true. He never saw Harmony in the car. So again, it's not sure it's what happening. Yeah, I'm sorry. I will never try to say Audi or whatever those Americans try to speak German. It's an Audi. I'm just scrolling and seeing if. And then his girlfriend also testified he only saw Harmony in September, so she wasn't with them in the parking lot as far as they saw. And yes, they were bringing leftovers out for Thanksgiving, and she had a brief opportunity to look inside the car and into the Audi, and only saw 2 younger children, not Harmony. So this lady is confident that Harmony was not in the car. And then there's another interview with the drug dealer, and he said, "Yeah, I provided crack and fentanyl to the Montgomerys, and he bought their food stamps, and then they could stay in his vehicle." And he stated that after Thanksgiving of 2019, the Montgomerys came to him with just their 2 boys and no Harmony, and asked if they could stay with them due to their being evicted and their car breaking down. Bondero did not recall how the Montgomerys arrived at his house. Bondero stated they arrived with few belongings and recalled a trash bag. Bondero offered them his Audi to sleep, which was parked, blah, blah, blah. It was the weekend after Thanksgiving, but he couldn't really remember. And again, he gave them leftovers and some pizza, and he denied repeatedly seeing Harmony and stated that he only knew the family had been staying in the parking lot for 2 nights in his Audi. And when confronted with the statement Kayla made about him seeing Harmony every day from Thanksgiving to the beginning of December and waving to Harmony and the 2 boys in the car, Bodero stated she was lying. So again, Kayla is not the best witness. Let's just say that the ending of her story is not corroborated by Bodero, and so we'll have to see about the punching interview, or the punching part of her story. And then they interviewed his girlfriend again, and she says that she didn't live with him full time, but she remember the Montgomerys arriving at his apartment, and they appeared stressed and mostly concerned with getting drugs. And she recalls them carrying duffel bags and trash bags. And when asked if there was any color of duffel bag, she stated she believed there was one, but she couldn't recall any details. So again, and she couldn't corroborate that that Bodero had helped them empty the car. She remembers Adam, Kayla, and the 2 sons arriving, but was adamant she never saw Harmony. So again, Kayla's story is not corroborated by any of the other witnesses. She stated that when she brought the Thanksgiving leftovers, there were 2 kids jumping around in the backseat, and she did not see Harmony in the car. So, and at that time, the one of the boys was 2.5 years old, and the other one was 10 months old. And it's extremely unlikely a 10-month-old would be jumping around. So it could have been Harmony, the investigators believe. And then we have Kimberly Frayne. She's the one who had the gun stolen in the gun case. And she wanted to help Montgomerys because the Audi had died. Audi, mess, they got me. And Kayla is worried that the family could die from the cold. And she did not see Harmony at the time, and it was only Adam, Kayla, and the two boys. Uh, and again, they can place the family at this parking lot, so that part of Kayla's time frame is corroborated. But again, not the emptying of the car. And then we have Courtney O'Brien, who said her husband, Matt Garcia, had known Adam their entire life. Again, Matt Garcia, he was the one the defense tried to blame the gun sales on. And they had seen Adam, Kayla, Harmony, and the two boys Thanksgiving night 2019, and that the family was living out of the Sebring at the time. O'Brien also recalled a conversation she had with Adam sometime between approximately December and January, during which Adam said Harmony was with her mother. That it happened really fast, and Harmony wouldn't stop peeing her pants, and she was better off with her mom. So that part of the story he has kept saying. Boom, boom, boom. And then I spoke with Matt Garcia, the friend who had known Adam since he was 14 years old, and said the only time I saw Harmony was on Thanksgiving 2019 when Adam, Kayla, and the kids were living in a car. He told about a phone call he had with Adam on New Year's Eve, which was New Year's Eve 2021, which was after the news broke that Harmony was missing. Garcia said he asked Adam about the news regarding Harmony, and Adam said he had talked to the police that morning. Adam told Garcia he didn't know why the police were bothering him, and that he gave Harmony back to Harmony's mother, after Garcia had seen them on Thanksgiving. Garcia said, Adam said the kid, Harmony, wouldn't stop pissing and shitting everywhere. She was driving me nuts. We were living in a car, so I let her. I had her mom come and get her. Garcia elaborated, speaking as if he was Adam, that Harmony was having her accidents everywhere, all the time, every 5 minutes. We were living in a car. I couldn't take it. I have to give it to her mom. So, yeah, poor child. And again, why did you fight for custody if you couldn't handle another kid? And with a 10-month-old in the car, you have accidents all the time. It's so hard to live reading this story. And then they found a toothbrush in this Chrysler Sebring. It was sold, but they recovered it, and then they found a toothbrush where they located DNA evidence on this toothbrush. It's 108 billion times more likely to see the genetic results of the DNA profile obtained from the toothbrush is from a biological child of Crystal Sorry, it's the mother of Harmony, than any unrelated random woman. And Harmony is the only female child of Crystal, so it's a pretty good indication it's her toothbrush. Then we're coming to movements of Harmony Montgomery's body by Adam Montgomery. And again, it's not a pleasant read. Kayla explained how Harmony's body was moved to various locations over the course of the next several months. They stated after living at Bodero's Audi in the Colonial Village parking lot, they had moved in with her mother and her mother's boyfriend. Kayla said that when they arrived at the residence, Harmony's body, which was still in a duffel bag, was placed inside a red cooler with a white top in a common hallway of the apartment building. So they just left the body outside in a cooler. How can you do this to your own child? It's just amazing. And she states that it was left there the whole time. The family stayed there until the end of December 2019. So, and then they asked her mother if they moved in, and yeah, they lived there for 2 or 3 weeks, and then they left on the day before New Year's. And she said they did not have Harmony with them, and Kayla told her that Harmony had gone back to live with her mother at a rehab facility in Massachusetts. She was not aware of Adam or Kayla making any effort to get in touch with Harmony or Crystal, her mother. She also testified that in the time frame she did not see Adam or Kayla cry about not having Harmony. So again, you don't do anything to help her after she starts making noises in the car. You don't check her or call an ambulance or anything. You just throw her into a duffel bag and then leave it in a cooler in your mom's apartment building. Yeah. And then they have searched for the cooler, and they couldn't find anything in this cooler. So this is one of the last places Harmony Montgomery is possibly known to have been. Then they move into a transition shelter where Adam places the body in the ceiling vents in the bedroom. And there were liquid coming from the bag, so he placed a trash bag around it to keep it from leaking. And there was an odor. So the police went to the shelter. This is the room. This is the vent. Get away. And they removed the vent, and there's few liquid residue in the wood. And then they pulled a large piece of the ceiling down and started testing it. They sent some minor parts of the ceiling. It wasn't enough DNA to be identifiable, and there was multiple impressions in some parts of it. So instead of only the 9 different pieces they have sent them, they sent all of the ceiling to them. And when they did that, they could make 9 identifiable impressions from the metal vent to the ceiling fan, from Adam Montgomery, 3 of his left middle finger, 2 of his left little finger, 1 to his left ring and middle fingers, and 1 to his left index finger, 1 to his right index finger, and 1 to his left palm. And then they found some other prints, but that was the drywaller who installed the work in this building. So he was ruled out. Then they did DNA analysis on the ceiling sections, but wasn't successful because there was potential inhabitants. And again, then they sent all of the ceiling and all of the framing to them, and I have to find it. Yeah, the decision was made to send the entire ceiling section to DNA Labs International to see what they could find. And I think we have it here. The ceiling section and removed metal framing were submitted to DNA test, and the DNA profile obtained from the sample is approximately 4.1 billion times more probable if the sample originated from Harmony Montgomery and an unknown person than if it originated from 2 unknown persons. This analysis provides very strong support for the proposition that Harmony Montgomery is a contributor to the DNA profile obtained from the sample. The report also notes limited support for the proposition that Crystal Sorry or Adam Montgomery are not contributors to the DNA profile obtained from the sample. So these parts of the ceiling have DNA residue from Harmony. And they did further investigation. Yes, Harmony Montgomery was the just turned 5-year-old girl, which Adam Montgomery had with Crystal Sorry. He had just had her parental rights 4 months before she disappeared. So it was why fight for the parental rights when you're doing stuff like this? So, but Harmony Montgomery just turned 5 years old and then allegedly beaten to death by her own father because she had problems going to the toilet when they were living in a car and he got angry. And why on my, I'm sorry, but my StreamYards are not pulling up all the things you are writing. Boom, 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 boom. I don't know if it's something wrong with David's because I can't see David in my chat, but I can see he's writing in the YouTube chat. So boom, boom, boom. I don't know. YouTube don't like David today. Boom, boom, boom. Did I miss anything? Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. So yeah, Harmony, the kid who disappeared, Harmony's DNA was in the ceiling boards above the room they stayed in at this family center. Further testing were performed on the ceiling sheetrock, blah, 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 which indicated a mixture of at least two individuals. Harmony Montgomery, Crystal Sorry, and Adam Montgomery could not be ruled out as possible contributors to the mixed DNA profile. And I really don't understand how Crystal Sorry's DNA could be there. That's the part I'm not really understanding, because I understand why Harmony's is there and how Adams are there. But it says the DNA profile obtained from the sample is approximately 1.1 trillion times more probable if the sample originated from Harmony Montgomery and one unknown person than if it originated from two unknown persons. This analysis provides very strong support for the proposition that Harmony Montgomery is a contributor to the DNA profile obtained from the sample. The DNA profile obtained from the sample is approximately 1.5 times more probable if the sample originated from Crystal Sorry and one unknown person than if it originated from two unknown persons. Therefore, the strength of support for either proposition could not be determined as a likely. Oh, so they tested it against Crystal's DNA and said it's not really, because 1.5 times is nothing in DNA evidence. And the DNA profile obtained from the sample is approximately 69 giggity times more probable if the sample originated from two unknown persons than if it originated from Adam Montgomery and one unknown person. This analysis provides limited support for the proposition that Adam Montgomery is not a contributor. And again, 69 giggity is nothing in DNA evidence. And they also tested the metal framing, and Harmony Montgomery could not be ruled out as a possible contributor to the profile, and Crystal Sorry and Adam Montgomery were excluded as contributors to the profile. Then again, at the 23rd of June, I have to do the math because you write dates the wrong way around in the US. Kayla participated in another interview, and she described a time when a maintenance worker came to check the vent because there were complaints from another resident because it smelled. Then Adam took the Under Armour bag containing Harmony's body, which was inside a trash bag, from the ceiling, put it inside it all inside another trash bag, and then replaced it in the ceiling. And once the maintenance were called to check the vent, Adam put the trash bag, Under Armour bag, Harmony's body into the closet. Kayla stated that when the maintenance checked the vent, and they said it must have been a dead animal or something because they didn't see anything up there. Paula was another one staying at this house, and she said, yeah, there was some smell. It was a girl named Mandy who complained about it, but Mandy was one who also lived at this center, and she's deceased, so she can't testify. And then they had the maintenance report saying there was a smell when they turned off on the heat. So they're moving Harmony's body yet one more time. This is to an apartment in 644 Union Street in Manchester. And when they moved to the apartment, they brought Harmony's body with them. She said that Adam put the Under Armour duffel bag with Harmony's body, which were inside one or two trash bags, into a plastic bin storage container, which were then pushed on a stroller from 177 Lake Avenue, the shelter they were living in, over to the house. So they're blatant enough to just push the body around in the streets. It's just amazing. As Mo would said, it's just all the meth. Kayla said that Adam first placed the plastic bin storage container into a closet in the bedroom. Adam at one point took the Under Armour bag out of the plastic bin storage container, and that the Under Armour bag was leaking. Adam put another trash bag around it and placed it into a refrigerator. And then, I got some die. Kayla states that at some point after Harmony's body were in the refrigerator, Adam transferred Harmony's body from the Under Armour duffel bag into a new bag. And she states it happened in the bathroom. She states that on the day in question, Adam spent 4 to 6 hours inside the bathroom at 644 Union Street with the shower running. And she describes Adam placing Harmony's dead body inside what she describes as a Catholic Medical Center maternity bag. And this bag was much smaller than the Under Armour duffel bag, and it would not likely fit Harmony's body unless it was dismembered or grossly distorted. This is just all the fun. It's why did he spend 4 hours with this inside the bathroom? I'm not sure, and again, why stuff it inside a small bag? It's just making me angry. And after putting it into this bag, he puts the bag into the freezer. And they get an example of this bag, and it was a bag like this. So he stuffed his 5-year-old daughter into this tote bag. On her second interview, she changes her story, said the transfer happened at the shelter a day or two after the maintenance worker were there. And that's the problem with Kayla's explanations. They keep changing. And I know if I were the defense, I'd be looking into all these changes all the time. But it's in this version, it's happening almost the same way in the bathroom, but at the shelter. And she herself then brought the CMC maternity bag with Harmony's body to Adam's place. So this part is just, She brought the bag to his place of work at a Portland pie company. I guess it's some kind of chain restaurant, while they were living at the shelter. So her previous story about the plastic bag doesn't really add up. But again, we'll have to see what comes out in court. And this was done on Adam's request. And then they left it at his work. She brought the CMC bag to Adam's work on a stroller with her 2 boys in it. In a front back stroller, and the CMC maternity with Harmony's body were between the 2 boys in the stroller. Kayla said Adam kept the CMC maternity bag with Harmony's body in the walk-in cooler at the restaurant for a week or so, and then was brought back to the shelter before going to the 644 Union Street apartment. And then they're asking a former employee of the Portland Pie Company, and he said, "Yeah, it's right. I saw a tote with straps with a red or pink something, and he had confirmed seeing Adam and only Adam handling the bag and bringing it in. And he's shown a photo, and he says, "Yeah, it's this bag." And then they're asking Emily Thompson, and she said, "Well, I vaguely recall Adam tucking a bag into the cooler, but could not remember any details." So yeah, but it corroborates Kayla's story. Yeah. Then doing this transfer of Harmony to the CMC after they move into the 644 Union Street address. Adam takes Harmony out of the bag. Kayla stated that Adam took Harmony out of the bag so he could add lime to the CMC maternity bag. Again, it's like the lye we talked about in David's case. It's something you use to dissolve things, and he wanted to put the lye in to help with the decompositioning. And Kayla explained that when Adam dumped Harmony's body out of the CMC maternity bag in the shower, Harmony wasn't bones. She had skin, teeth, and hair, and Kayla could still tell it was her. And she says that Adam put about half a bag of lime or a little more into the maternity bag and showed how big the size of the bag of lime. That's not important. Adam had a difficult time fitting Harmony's body back into the CMC maternity bag. Harmony's body was frozen. Kayla saw Adam run the hot water in the shower and tried squishing Harmony's flesh to thaw it. So he's sitting with the corpse of the daughter he murdered, squishing her skin to defrost it so he can stuff her away in a bag where lime can help decompose her body faster. Yeah. Harmony helped Kayla helped cut Harmony's clothes off her body to make her fit into the bag better as well. Kayla described Adam eventually pushing and pushing on Harmony's body, and then she heard a bang. She was not able to elaborate what the bang was. Adam also banged the bag on the floor while zipping it. Kayla said that she also helped zip close the maternity bag. After it was finally zipped shut, it went into the freezer again and then cleaned up the bathroom with ammonia. And this is where I really would like to have David on to explain me how is she only charged with 2 counts of perjury when she admits to helping doing all of this stuff to the deceased. I really can't understand how she can get away with only 2 counts of perjury. It's amazing to me. But yeah, this is not the mother and the father of the year, that's for sure, because it's just gruesome to read what they did to this little girl. It's I'm sorry. I'm getting angry. But we're getting to the end of it. And then there's some maintenance done on the apartment. Doesn't matter. Kayla stated that Adam kept the CMC bag with Harmony's body inside of the freezer until sometime during the spring of 2020. She wasn't sure. When Adam rented a U-Haul and during the overnight hours made a trip to an unknown destination to dispose of Harmony's dead body, she didn't know the location. They stayed at an Econo Lodge or Comfort Inn in Manchester. He brought the bag to the hotel and placed it in the mini refrigerator in the room. They were accompanied by some Travis Beach, haven't heard his name before, and his girlfriend, whose Kayla only knew as Brittany. Manchester police know Brittany to be reference to a specific person, Brittany Bedard. Kayla recalled that Adam went to rent the U-Haul with either Travis, Brittany, or both. Kayla saw the U-Haul from the hotel window and she described it as a van with a large blah blah. Kayla said after the U-Haul was rented, Adam left in the middle of the night at approximately midnight or 1 a.m. Adam told her he was leaving and he would be back, and he took the CMC maternity bag. She didn't see him have anything else with him. Kayla said Adam didn't want her to know where he was going in case of something like this happened, apparently in reference to Kayla proffering this information to the police. Kayla said Adam then returned at around 5 or 6 a.m. in the morning. When he returned, he seemed very tired and he said words to the effect of, "It's done." Kayla said she didn't see the CMC maternity bag after that, and it should be noted that in Kayla's second proffer, her statement were consistent about the U-Haul and did not materially differ from her original story. And yeah, and corroboration of the Adam Montgomery using a U-Haul to dispose of Harmony's body. Around the time when they began looking into the whereabouts, they had a 24/7 hotline so they could call in. At around 26th of February 2022, they were advised of a call that came through this hotline, and it came from a phone number with a tipster who wanted to remain anonymous. The tipster stated that a Generally Paris and her boyfriend Travis Breach has come to the tipster's residence a month ago and disclosed that approximately 2 years ago, Adam Montgomery frantically asked Beach if he could rent Adam a U-Haul truck. The tipster stated that Adam did not disclose what the U-Haul truck was going to be used for, but stated that Adam asked Beach in a frantic manner to rent the vehicle. They located Beach and Paris at Elm Street in the rear parking lot of the apartment building in their vehicle and attempted to interview Beach. Beach were uncooperative and stated he would not answer any questions unless it was with his attorney. That's the right answer. And then they talked to Beach again with his probation officer or parole officer present, and he asked him to tell him about the U-Haul story, and he said it was around wintertime 2019, 2020, stated that he had run into Adam on the street in the area, and Adam had continued to say, "I'm fucked up, I'm so fucked." Beach stated Adam wouldn't tell him what he meant when he said, I fucked up, I'm so fucked. Beach stated that he was with Brittany Bedard and Adam was with Kayla and their two boys. Beach were asked if he had ever seen Harmony, and he stated he had not. Adam asked them to rent him a U-Haul, and he recalled Brittany renting Adam a box truck from a U-Haul on South Willow Street. Beach stated they left from there, and the next day Brittany called U-Haul to make sure Adam had returned it, and he had. Beach stated that he had never heard or seen Harmony and only knew Adam to have two sons. Beach stated that he thought Adam and Kayla were living on the second floor in an apartment on Union Street at the time of the U-Haul incident. Beach were asked if he ever knew Adam and Kayla to have a car, and he stated he had never seen them with a car. And he was asked blah blah, and it's not important. Bum bum bum. Oh, and then they talked to an inmate who knew Travis Beach, and he had known Beach for 7 to 8 years. And Johnson, the inmate, stated he had a conversation with Beach a few weeks prior, at the end of March or beginning of April 2022. Johnson stated that they were at a drug house getting high and smoking crack. Of course. Beach stated that he had something to tell Johnson that were eating at him. Beach stated Adam Montgomery were one of his best friends. Johnson stated also present at the time were Beach's girlfriend, Generally Paris. Beach stated Adam called him and came over to his place, and Adam said he fucked up, that he did wrong and needed his help. Johnson stated Beach's girlfriend then stopped him from saying anything further to Johnson about Adam's statements. Johnson stated the tone of the conversation was that Beach were going to say that Adam killed the child and disposed of the body. He stated Beach was saying Adam was asking him for a few days to help him get rid of stuff. Beach stated that they drove around the country for the next few days getting rid of stuff. Johnson stated that Beach never mentioned body parts, but that it was stuff wrapped in plastic or plastic bags. Johnson also mentioned Adam asking for tools and supplies and included blankets and tarps. Generally told Beach not to talk further about it because it could get him in trouble. Again, friends, this is a prison snitch. In this case, there was a reward for $40,000, and suddenly people started talking. So Kayla never said anything about Beach helping Adam dispose of anything. Could this be a good story? It's I don't know, but it sounds a bit like he wants to tell the police something. But this will be interesting to see how the defense is going to attack this if they bring him into court, because this is hearsay. It's yeah, it's it seems a bit special that that he had been telling him all of this just as the police was looking for him. So and only Beach and generally, who of course would deny this, and then himself. So can you trust this witness? I'm not sure. Yeah. Beach didn't have a license, so Brittany rented it for him. And again, the prison stayed set for several days, and here they said they just rented it for one day. Beach stated that Adam Kayla picked it up from Orange Street. She stated they had children with them, but only 2 children. Beach believed that the weather was starting to get warm, but there was snow on the ground, and it was potentially inside February, March 2020 timeframe. And again, he fucked up. Beach advised that Adam told him that he was having problem with DCYF during this time, and that was why they were staring at the Econo Lodge. Prior to the interview concluded, Beach signed a consent to search his Facebook account after stating he and Adam had used this platform to communicate. Beach provided us with his login, blah, blah, blah. But the information he gave them didn't. They couldn't log into it. This is why she was lying. Kayla explained that the reason why she initially said that the last time she saw Harmony was when Adam dropped her off to work at Dunkin' Donuts was because Adam had told her to say that time frame and to say that Adam was returning Harmony to her mother. He said, in essence, that Adam told her she wouldn't get in trouble if she just stuck to this story. So this is the tampering with evidence, with witnesses. Then we have a Nicole Giles lived at shelter at the time where Adam and Kayla were living there and knew them. And she remember going to the Econo Lodge to see Kayla and Adam during this time when Kayla and Adam were living at 644 Union Street. She advised that she did not go in the hotel room, but believed she dropped something off. She also believed this was odd. They were renting a hotel where they had an apartment. Yeah, this isn't really interesting. This is just somebody who rented a room for them, so it's not really interesting. Then there's the U-Haul. That's not really interesting. And then there's just one corroborating the brought them to the U-Haul place. But Then there's the Facebook, a conversation from Beach Facebook between Beach and Adam's Facebook. Hey, can we use the U-Haul for like 10 minutes? Yo, if you're awake, call me. Need to talk. If we can use the way, blah blah blah. Know what's up, bro? Hit me up. Missed. Yo, please let me know when I can come by and grab my stuff, cause we only have the car till 1:30. Thank you, Baba. Yeah. Uh, Pro, what U-Haul did you drop it off at? Cause he just got a text saying the van was supposed to be back at 2, so please let me know what the fuck is going on. ASAP, I dropped it off at Willow on my word. Please don't message me stuff like this on Facebook again. Okay, my bad, won't happen again. Oh, why don't you want to talk about the U-Haul? Travis missed a call. Yo, bro, can you call me, please? I need to talk to you. It's important, very important. Call me. Yeah, it's and again, they're talking about renting the U-Haul, and it was brought to Econo Lodge by Beach and Brittany, and they were turned over to Adam. The Beach denied driving the vehicle. Beach confirmed during the interview that he could communicate with Adam through Facebook Messenger, and then there's some toll violations, so you can see where the car is going, and that confirms the time, frame that Kayla has described. And then there's some photos, but they couldn't identify any occupant within the U-Haul, and you couldn't even see how many who were in there. We have the photos here. Nothing much. Whew, it's hot, sorry. As noted previous, forensic testing of locations where Harmony Montgomery's body was stored. The car was, as noted previously, the U-Haul Adam used to dispose of Harmony's body was sold at auction on or about. The current owners of the U-Haul van was identified as. They consented to a search, which has been repurposed for the business. The van was processed with Blue Star, which is a chemical agent used for detecting hemoglobin, its blood, on surfaces where it may not be visible to the naked eye. When the van was processed with Blue Star, there appeared to be a reaction on the right side of the interior step on the driver's side, a faint reaction on the passenger side floorboard, and 2 reactions approximately halfway up the back of the passenger seat along the side of the seat closest to the door. Each of these areas was swabbed, and the swabs are pending further forensic testing. Again, a U-Haul with some blood in it, tested on 3 years after the fact. He should have, that he possibly used the car to dispose of his daughter's body. I don't know. It sounds a bit weird that it would take that it would show up after such a long time. We know from Zach Anderson case how hard it was to find anything in that car, and a million people has been into this U-Haul. So I don't know. And then they are testing stuff at Union Street and the refrigerator. It may not have been the same refrigerator as when Adam and Kayla lived in the apartment. However, he was unable to definitively say so. There's a small reaction to the Blue Star on the bottom right of the interior of the refrigerator, and 3 significant circular reactions together with some smaller reaction on the bottom of the interior of the refrigerator. Each of these areas was swabbed, and the swabs are pending. Again, he can't definitively say it was this fridge, and somebody might have had steaks in this freezer. It's blood too. No, but again, if it's a van, if you're using it to move, how many times do you get a cut or a scrape, something? and on the back of the right passenger seat, it could be someone having a hand with. Again, it's circumstantial. It's not the end all be all. And again, we haven't seen anything yet with the DNA on it. And again, if you can't definitively say this was the refrigerator, how much can you rely on this evidence? And then we have the Cornwall Lodge, based on the statement from Kayla, and the mini fridge was processed with Blue Star, which showed a small quick reaction underneath the interior freezer space, a small quick reaction on the why a quick reaction? An interior door where it was can holders and a small quick reaction on the bottom of the door. Each of these areas swapped. To date, Harmony's remains has not been located. They only had Blue Star react to something. And again, could it be animal blood? I'm not an expert, so I don't know, but could animal blood make this Blue Star react to it? I believe there's hemoglobin in animal blood too, and somebody could have shot a deer and put it in the back. I don't know. It's again, it's. I know they put it into this just like we do in the Danish varetægtshøringer when they're trying to say, well, we have to put him away while we investigate this further. But again, until we have the DNA, we really can't use this for anything. And that was the problem in the Zach Anderson case too. They had something that could be blood, but they never tested it to prove it was blood. Yeah, this is the worst part in all of this, reindeer. So many knew about this, and no one wanted to call the police until you could get 40,000 to say to talk. And this is the biggest problem in this case: is everybody is just so untrustworthy and unlikable. Sorry. You have Kayla. She's been along for the ride all the way through, and the only thing I don't know her. In my opinion, as long as there was drugs, she was game. I'm just. You get so angry reading this. Sitting next to a man punching his minor child once in the face. How can you live with yourself? Repeatedly, 3 to 4 times in the face. How can you live with yourself? 3 to 4 times, 3 to 4 times in a time span of 5 minutes. How can you ever live with yourself? What would you have done if you had punched your kid as the next one? No, and the big problem is everyone has a deal with the DA's office. Everyone. There is no one who's clean in this. No one. Everyone is a drug addict. Everyone has reduced sentences. Everybody has. In the drug case, one had amnesty for his testimony. So again, I'm not sure if I was on the jury who convicted Adam with the evidence presented that I saw, that I would have found him guilty. I have to say it. I know I read about this case before. I know he looks like a drug dealer and he looks like a bad guy, but with the evidence presented, I'm not sure I would have voted guilty for those six weapons charges. And that's the big problem, as we always talk about. A lot of people get convicted because they look like somebody who should be convicted, and maybe the evidence is not always there. But here you have the DNA evidence on the toothbrush. You have it on the roof, on the ceiling. So you have evidence that they moved her around, and that's pretty hard evidence. And it was a very certain DNA hit they have got. So, conclusion: based on the foregoing facts and circumstances, there's probable cause to believe that Adam Montgomery committed the crimes of second-degree murder, tampering with witnesses and informants, falsifying physical evidence, and abuse of corpse. And therefore, I request an arrest warrant for the following charges. One count of second-degree murder, in that he recklessly caused the death of Harmony Montgomery, a person under 13 years of age, under circumstances manifesting as extreme indifference to the value of human life, by repeatedly striking Harmony Montgomery on the head with a closed fist. One count of tampering with witness and information, in that he, believing that an official proceeding as defined, blah, 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 or investigations were pending or about to be instituted, he purposely attempted to induce or otherwise cause Kayla Montgomery to testify and inform falsely. And one count of falsifying physical evidence, in that he believed that an official proceeding, as we just said, blah, 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 he purposely altered, destroyed, concealed, or removed the body of Harmony Montgomery with the purpose to impair its verity or availability in such proceedings or investigations. And one count of abuse of dead corpse, in that he purposely and unlawfully removed, concealed, and destroyed the corpse of Harmony Montgomery or any part thereof. That was the unredacted affidavit in this case. We didn't hear much about it because they had it sealed during the weapons charges. Now we can see what he's charged with, and we can see what evidence they have so far. And the DNA evidence, for me, that's pretty strong evidence that Harmony's body was at this place. And as no one saw her in that time frame, you can speculate how she got there. And my biggest problem is there's just so many untrustworthy persons in this. Reindeer, if you see his testimony with the cops, he will never plead guilty. Never. He never mentions her name. He never asks anything about her. There's a short body cam video where they stop him at a car. It's not really good, so I haven't seen it yet. I'm looking around to see if I can find a better version. And Harmony doesn't matter to this person. A 5-year-old girl. I'm not using any of the pictures of Harmony because I think even though on YouTube you have to grift all you can grift, I'm not using a 5-year-old's face as clickbait. I think that's a bit too much. But this sweet little kid, if you search her name, you see as she could have been such a beautiful little kid. And if it's true, she was ruined by a man because she had problems going to the toilet while living in a car they ended up in because he had a massive drug problem. It's just heartbreaking. And some people should never be allowed to have kids. And he had Harmony, and at least 3 boys with Kayla. It's heart-wrenching to think about what kind of life these kids are going to grow up to have. I hope social services get their act together, because this is just as much the state who didn't do their job. They were at the house a few days before she died, a few days before they were evicted, because she had bruising on her face. And then they did nothing about it. A 5-year-old girl with bruises on her face. It's bad. It's so bad. Yeah, I really don't understand how you could get custody. It's but again, he was a big drughead, and the mom was even worse. Oh, David, you're back. I had some problem seeing your text on StreamYard earlier. I don't know. I think Vice has said he had problems. No, Joe last night had problems with StreamYard too, bringing all of the chats up. But it's an heart wrenching case, and if it's true that he beat her to death because she had an accident, it's just yeah, it's it's not a good one. But we'll see when it goes before the court. Then we can see if there's any explanations to all of this. In this case, I should have put a poll up. I think with everybody singing to get out of jail or to get money, he has to take the stand. And if he's anything like the police interrogation, it's not going to be a good time. That's yeah. You just disappeared. Others in the chat said they couldn't see you and asked if you had blocked them. So, but again, YouTube shenanigans, StreamYard shenanigans. But that was all. It was a short one. Now I'll go rest my throat. No, David, don't make fun of it. And I'll see you back at some times if I find anything else in this trial. I know Farrell have been gracious enough to send me a lot of materials, so I have something to read when I lay in my bed. And the rest of you, if you haven't already, please like or subscribe if you haven't. I know I have to grift myself more when I'm on trial, and I hope it was okay. My reading of this affidavit, it wasn't a pretty one, and yeah, I'll just do a quick check and see if there is. I can't redirect you because I'm just a small channel, but I can do a little linky dinky thing. So if you want to follow Mo, she's just as unskilled in law as I am, but we are the fun laymen. Yeah, Randy, I hope that it's the right link. I think I put the link in for Mo, but everyone jump into Mo stream, and I can't direct you directly over there, but say it's a bakerade, then I'll be a happy camper. And then I have to say thank you so much for watching as always. It's so nice to have you people in chat. See you later.